Throughout time, roller coasters have come and gone. Only some become legends for their intensity and thrills. Each and every year, coaster fans like you venture to the parks, searching for that one special ride that stands out above the rest. You submitted your rankings, and now it's time to reveal the group of elite roller coasters that you have voted as the best of the best. COASTER-net is proud to present the 2016 Thrilling 32.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the final thrilling episode of COASTER-net Uncut, featuring the 2016 Thrilling 32 Bracket Challenge. It is Championship Friday, it is Finals Friday, and we're going to see who our champions are today. I am Danny Miller from Binghamton, New York, as always, joined by my very good friend Andrew Barczyk from Chicago, Illinois. Andy, this has been several months in the making, and today we find out who our champions are. We find out the full rankings of the Thrilling 32, and we also find out who our contest winner is.
It's exciting. You know what? I think each and every year we find out that people really love the Thrilling 32. It's a lot of fun. It's, there's polls out there that people submit their rankings to all the time. But here with the Thrilling 32, it's an interactive reveal. You get to learn about people's opinions, and it takes a little bit of skill to find out not only what you like, but more so what everyone else likes too when you're filling out your bracket challenge. So this is such a unique contest that we do at COASTER-net. And more importantly is I think it's a lot of fun to listen to the reveal, to find out who makes it on in each round. The discussions on Facebook, the discussions on the forums that we've had over whether or not this coaster should have moved on or that coaster should not have been eliminated so early. The discussions have been numerous and plenty and all a lot of fun. So I think tonight is the culmination of all of this. It's the coup de grace of what has been building for the last few months. And now we finally are told, and it's finally revealed who the champions are in the Thrilling 32. I can't wait, Danny. I'm really excited. I love all four of these coasters inside of this poll right now that are left, and I can't wait to find out the wood and the steel champions for 2015.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, four very deserving roller coasters here in our championship matchups. So without further ado, let's get into it here. First, we'll start with the wood side. As always, we've got a rematch of the rematch. We've got, for the third consecutive year, Outlaw Run from Silver Dollar City in Branson, Missouri, taking on Voyage from Holiday World in Santa Claus, Indiana. Third consecutive year the coasters have been number one and number two. They've split the last 2 years. As you can see here in our little side-by-side comparison that we love putting up for you, Outlaw Run, the victor in 2013 over Voyage in its debut year, and then last season, 2014, Voyage victorious in claiming its first ever championship, even though it had always been in the championship game. It was number one last year. Outlaw Run was number two last year. So now it's the big question. Does Voyage repeat, and do we finally see a repeat champion on the wood side of things, which we've never had? Or does Outlaw Run flip-flop the table again and take back the crown? What do you think?
This one is one that's really hard to determine. I know there's a lot of Outlaw Run fans out there. I have a lot of friends myself that tell me all the time how Outlaw Run is the best wooden coaster in the world. I just don't believe them. The Voyage is amazing. The Voyage is outstanding. I think we might see...
I agree.
We might just see the first ever repeat winner. Am I correct that no coaster has ever won back-to-back? Is that correct, Danny Miller?
That is correct. On the wood side of things, we had Boulder Dash the first year, then Outlaw Run, and then Voyage last year. And on the steel side of things, we saw Intimidator 305, and then Leviathan, and then Bizarro. And we already know that we will not have a repeat winner on the steel side because Bizarro has been long gone for a couple of rounds now. So you are predicting the first ever repeat champion.
Repeat champion, also the first. It's going to be amazing. Voyage, completely deserving of it. I'm going to have to. I love Outlaw Run. I love it, but I'm going to have to go with Voyage on this one.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I love both coasters, but Voyage to me is probably my favorite roller coaster, wood or steel. I think it's just so out of this world amazing. And what's not to like about it? You and I talk about this all the time. We talked about it on our Holiday World show. We said people who get off, if you get off the Voyage and do not think that that is one of the top 2 or 3 best roller coasters on this earth, you ought to have your head examined, as I think you said last week, about people who didn't understand Expedition G-Force's placement in the Final Four. So are you ready to find out who the wood champion is?
I'm ready, Danny.
Well, we will not have a repeat champion. Outlaw Run takes the crown back from Voyage. It is Outlaw Run coming in as the top wooden coaster in the 2015 poll and the 2016 Thrilling 32 Bracket Challenge. Outlaw Run is your wood champion. Voyage comes in at number 2. I would say a little bit of an upset here, even though they've gone back and forth. I would have to say I'm a bit surprised by this. Outlaw Run is number 1.
I too am surprised, and simply from the fact that, as you stated before, we have 3 times as many voters this year. I thought for sure that we would see Voyage moving well up into the stratosphere of elite coasters, and yet we have Outlaw Run, the opinion swaying the opposite way, back to Outlaw Run being number 1. That is quite impressive. And I'll be honest, I'm with you. I am quite shocked that indeed Outlaw Run is our champion. I'm not saying that I don't think it's deserving, because Outlaw Run is an amazing roller coaster, a solid number 2 on my list, but to beat the Voyage is something special. Color me surprised, Danny Miller, because Outlaw Run is our new champion. Taking back the crown, amazing.
Yeah, it's very impressive. So, congratulations to Outlaw Run and congratulations to Silver Dollar City. Outlaw Run has turned the tide, and we see those 2 rides flip-flop once again. I would not be surprised if next year we see the same matchup and see Voyage take the crown back. I would not be surprised at all if we continue. This is a nice little rivalry we've grown over the last few years here between these 2 coasters.
There's a little wrench being thrown, possibly being thrown into the mix. If the wrenches actually work and Lightning Rod actually gets open this year.
Well, that's what I was going to say. They still need some wrenches down there in Pigeon Forge.
They need a few wrenches down there. And they need to be tightening something up, because if that thing opens up, that has a lot of the same feel as Outlaw Run does to me. Maybe a lot better feel than Outlaw Run does. And maybe we have a Leviathan effect with Outlaw, and people start liking Lightning Rod a little bit better. So we'll see what happens next year. But this year, Outlaw Run is king, and that's all that matters.
Yeah. Outlaw Run, this is what's going on right now, and that is Outlaw Run is your wood champion from the 2015 poll and the 2016 contest here. So now let's get over to the steel bracket here. We've got our championship in the steel bracket. We've got Fury 325 from Carowinds in Charlotte, North Carolina / Fort Mill, South Carolina, going up against Intimidator 305 from King's Dominion in Doswell, Virginia. And once again, 2 coasters, we've said this before, that you rode on the exact same day. you thought Fury was the better of the two. Now, interestingly enough, Intimidator 305, the 2012 champion, and the runner-up both in 2013 and 2014, but lost to two different coasters in that time. So, in 2013, losing to the Leviathan last round. And then 2014, it lost to Bizarro, which was beaten by Fury 325 a couple of rounds ago. So we know Intimidator 305 has beaten both of the coasters that has beaten it previously. So now the question is Intimidator 305 back on top for the first time in 3 years? Does Fury come up just short? Or is it also Fury Friday here on top of Finals Friday? Does Fury 325 do the unthinkable and come in at number one in its very first year, just like Outlaw Run did? Although, on this, would you agree that on a steel coaster list, coming in at number one in a bigger achievement than it is on the wood list, especially since Outlaw Run was so groundbreaking? How many long-time bracket? I think that Fury 325 winning this would be one of the greatest achievements in the short history of this contest.
Absolutely, Danny. That when you look at what Fury has accomplished up to this point has been, who would have thought that starting at the beginning of this poll, the beginning of this bracket challenge, that Fury would have come as far as it has. Looking back now, it makes perfect sense. But Fury had doubters all along the way, saying that there's no way the new kid on the block's going to take this. Doubters after doubters, and now we're here, and it's in the championship round. And Danny Miller, when I say this, I am being as honest as I have ever been in my life. I believe that Fury 325 is going to do the unthinkable, is going to do the impossible, and take the crown in its very first year. Fury 325 all the way on this one. Danny, it was even a question on my rankings. When I wrote both of them in the same day, Fury 325 far surpassed.
I agree. I agree. I think Fury 325 is the superior. I think it's the superior ride, definitely, between the two. And like I said, I think that this would be the biggest achievement in the 4-year history of this poll. Some people might tell you it's Phantom's Revenge, beating Millennium Force earlier in this tournament. Some people might say it's the PNE coaster going to the Elite Eight, or the Wild Mouse from Blackpool Pleasure Beach. Some people might say it's Nemesis going to the Final Four last year. I think this would be bigger if it happens.
Absolutely. This is a story in and of itself. And it is, as much as people love I-305, I don't think it can hold a candle against Fury 325. The only question is did the poll have the voters that reflect that opinion? That's the question in front of me right now. Not a question of which ride is better. It's a question of which voters were in the poll who thought Fury 325 was better.
Right. Well, I think the words at the end of the Devin Olsen Media documentary, which oddly enough, both of these coasters have been featured in Devin Olsen Media documentaries, and so has Outlaw Run, actually. So that's very interesting too. But I believe the ending of the Fury documentary says, "Feel the Fury all around me, taking me to 325." The Fury has taken it to the top. Fury 325 is our steel champion in the 2015 poll, the 2016 Thrilling 32 Bracket Challenge Steel Roller Coaster champion, Fury 325. Fury is number one in year number one. What do you think?
This is astounding. It's amazing. I think right now there are a lot of people kicking themselves, thinking that this couldn't happen, thinking that there is no way Fury 325 was going to make it into a championship, let alone be crowned the champion. But yet here we are sitting, looking at Fury at the top of the mountain, Danny, at the top of the mountain, king of all coasters, Fury 325 taking the championship home for the 2015 poll. Absolutely amazing, well-deserving, and absolutely, I think there's a lot of people realizing right now the mistakes that were made on their brackets when they did not pick Fury 325 going all the way.
And a very interesting thing will develop. Stations Fury 325 and Carowinds for winning here. A very interesting thing will happen now in future years. Fury is now king from day one, from year one. So now someone's got to beat it. And like you like to say, to be the man, you've got to beat the man. Fury beat the man. Fury beat Bizarro. Fury beat the previous man in Intimidator 305, and we know now it would have beaten all the previous men, Leviathan. It's beaten all of them. So now someone's got to take it away from Fury next year. I mean, we know Outlaw Run has had it taken before. Now, will Fury be one of those coasters that stays at the top for a long, long time? I don't know. We're going to have to wait till next year to find out. But Outlaw Run and Fury 325 are our champions. So before we reveal the big, long rankings, Raptor, yes, that's right. You're going to stuff the ballot boxes next year.
That's who's taking it next year, folks. You can fill out your brackets right now, right in the champion. It's going to be Raptor. That's who's going to beat Fury. Don't worry about it. The new lights on Raptor, far better than the ones on Fury. The new paint on Raptor, far better than the paint on Fury. The ride experience on Raptor, far better than the one on Fury. Mark my words right now. You can mark the date down on your calendars. Raptor 2016.
Yes. Wow. Now, so before we reveal the full rankings list here on this show, we do have two orders of business to take care of. First, we have to let's congratulate everyone first and foremost, because there were a lot of very good bracket submissions this year. We had certainly a lot of record point numbers, certainly a lot of people who scored higher than any other years. Some people just taking the time to go through previous years and making some informed decisions. We've heard a lot about strategies, but we want to congratulate Eli for being our champion with 139 points and only 43 correct picks. So as you can see here, we have several people on this the list here. You can see the top grouping here on your screen. Several people with more than 43 correct picks. But again, because it means more to get those champions correct, Eli had both of those champions correct. We had a couple of people with both champions correct. Ken Galante had both of them correct. Ben Gilligan had both of them correct as well. I'm sure there's a couple others there, as you can see, that had both of them correct. But, congratulations to Eli for being our champion. Eli, we will be contacting you once this show goes live. We'll be discussing your prize. We'll get you a T-shirt. We'll get you one of the calendars. And we'll also discuss bringing you on for a future show. And so then we've got some other things in the works as well. So congratulations, Eli, and to everyone. We really did have a lot of good bracket submissions this year, don't you think? We had a lot of good submissions this
absolutely.
year.
It was overwhelming, the response we got, both in the poll and in the brackets. Tell your friends, because I think this is one of the most unique things done in all of roller coasters and for all enthusiasts. Tell your friends, get your friends involved. It's a lot of fun to participate in this, and we break it down. We tell you where you rank. It's a lot of fun to be involved in something. Like, usually polls are just like, submit your ballot, see who wins. Whip-de-doo, who cares? This is something you can actually interact with. This is something you can actually get involved in. And you can make fun of your friends for having bad brackets. You can congratulate those friends. You can congratulate those friends who did well, but definitely make fun of the ones that did poorly. I don't want to name any names on this show. I don't want to name any names, but we all know who I'm talking about right now. The man in dead last.
There won't be any new names. Well, and the interesting thing is, you don't have to win the contest to have bragging rights. You can have bragging rights amongst your group of friends. Like, I know everyone in my family filled out brackets. So my mom, my dad, my aunt, obviously, and then my sister as well, all filled out brackets. And if I look at the final standings here, my dad actually finished. Hold on, I gotta look at this now. I'm looking at the final standings. My aunt, who probably does the most traveling and the most riding of any of the four of them, actually came in last out of all four of them. And then my sister, who probably rides the second most, my aunt had 91 points. My sister had 98. My dad had the most out of any of them with 105. And my mom, who does not ride roller coasters almost at all, had 103 points. Because literally I called her on the phone and she gave me her picks, and all she was doing, she was looking at pictures. She Googled pictures of all the rides and was like, ooh, that one looks really cool. I'll pick that one. Like, that one looks like it would be more exciting. And she ended with 103 points. It's like sometimes simplicity. It's like you said, don't get silly. Don't get silly. Don't get silly.
And it's like
simplicity rules.
When you look at the NCAA tournament, of the people that do well, they pick mascots over each other. Well, a bear is going to eat a turtle, so we're going to have the bears move forward. So it's always, fun to see how people do.
All right, so now we know who our two champions are, Andy. And we know who our contest champion is. So why don't we take a look at the complete list now? Let's start with the wood coasters. Let's start at number 32 and work our way up. So starting at number 32, we saw the Coney Island Cyclone. So that was the one coaster that wasn't going to win regardless of who it was playing. Then at 31, we had White Lightning from Fun Spot America. Number 30, Cornball Express from Indiana Beach. 29, Kentucky Rumbler from Beach Bend. 28 was the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk's Giant Dipper. Number 27, American Thunder from Six Flags St. Louis. Number 26, Tremors from Silverwood. Number 25, Wild Mouse from Blackpool Pleasure Beach. So as you can see, made it to the Elite Eight due to playing some weaker coasters in that region, but was able to get to the Elite Eight. Number 24 was Hades 360 from Mount Olympus. Number 23, the Grand National from Blackpool Pleasure Beach. Number 22, Raven from Holiday World. And at number 21 and number 20, we see the two tracks of Lightning Racer. Lightning coming in at number 20, and Thunder was number 21. The Legend from Holiday World is number 19. Number 18 is Renegade from Valley Fair in Minnesota. And at number 17, we finally see the Beast from Kings Island. So you can see the Beast coming in all the way up there at number 17, but losing in the first round to our eventual runner-up in the Voyage. Moving on to the top 16 here, we've got the Coaster from P&E Playland at number 16 this year. Shivering Timbers, number 15, and beating it by 0.03 percentage points was Rampage at number 14. So we saw number 14 and 15 go at it in that very first round. That was quite the interesting matchup. Prowler coming in at number 13 this year. Number 12 is Vodon Timber Coaster from Europa Park in Germany. Number 11, Thunderhead at Dollywood. And number 10, Gold Striker from California's Great America. Coming in at number 9 is Goliath from Six Flags Great America, right in your neck of the woods there. Number 8, Colossus from Heide Park in Germany. So we see, once again, some international coasters doing very well this year. Another one, Balder from Leisburg, is coming in at number 7. So you can see that Balder Vodon Timber Coaster was, again, a very tough matchup. Ravine Flyer 2 coming in at number 6 this season, knocking off Prowler in the first round, of course. And now we finally start to see where our final four coming in. We see Phoenix finish number 5 overall this season. Boulder Dash coming in at number 4, but again, losing out to El Toro from Six Flags Great Adventure in the very first round. So look at that, the way the bracket panned out this year. We saw number 3 versus number 4 in the very first round. So a very difficult pick. So we knew that, like you said, the winner of that going to the final 4 for sure. And then, of course, we see Voyage coming in at number 2 from Holiday World, and Outlaw Run, Silver Dollar, sees Rocky Mountain Construction Creation coming in at number 1 with 96.71 percentage points this year. beating Voyage, and I will say this, Voyage did have the lead for the majority of voting. Outlaw Run beat it out in the very last few days with a couple of votes that came in the last few days. So I think, generally speaking, maybe a few things here and there you don't agree with, but for the most part, I think a pretty solid list on the wood side of things. Wouldn't you say so?
Yeah, just looking at those top three, you look at it, less than 1 percentage point separating one from three. Those three coasters are right there neck and neck with each other the whole time. 1 and 2 separated by 0.2%. That's a margin right there. I tell you what, it'll be interesting to see how these three coasters move into the future brackets, and to see if it seems like just a few voters either way could really swing the balance here.
Well, and what really sticks out to me as well is 14, 15, and 16. Rampage at 87.09, Shivering Timbers at 87.06, and Coaster at 87 flat. So in less than 0.1 percentage points, we have three coasters at 14, 15, 16. So you can see how that matchup was constantly changing right up until the end. For Shivering Timbers was ahead of Rampage, then they switched, then Coaster jumped them both, and then Rampage and Shivering Timbers jumped them both again. That was an interesting battle in the last few days of voting to really see how that one shaped up.
How about before you move on, how about West Coast Thunderhead versus East Coast Thunderhead with Gold Striker and Thunderhead?
Ah.
Oh my goodness, look at that matchup. That you're literally
right there.
Whew, wow, look at that. Look at that right there.
People say Gold Striker is like the West Coast version of Thunderhead. No kidding. Just coming
then you throw Goliath right into it, and that's only another 0.5 percentage or 0.05 percentage points above Gold Striker.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, and then we saw a little bit of a drop-off from 11 down to 12, and then another drop-off from 12 down to 13. So certainly that group of top 11, we saw a bit of a drop-off from 3 to 4, and then I think they're pretty closely packed, but several groups of coasters very close. So it just goes to show you that one ballot could make all the difference with all of this, and we're going to see this even more here. And like I said, up until the very last ballot that I got in just before midnight on the last day of voting changed these rankings. So that, again, that's a credit to how we do this system. And you're going to see it even more coming up here with the steel list here. So with the steel list, you'll notice that because people have been on more steel coasters, inherently you're going to see the percentages are much closer on the steel list here. So the steel list is affected even more by these votes coming in. Coming in at number 32 was Tatsu, Six Flags Magic Mountain. 31, Nitro, Six Flags Great Adventure. Number 30, Kumba, Busch Gardens, Tampa. Number 29, Thunderbird from Holiday World. So Thunderbird coming in at number 29, its very first year. And I think that's one that we could probably expect to see go up a little bit as more people ride it, I would expect. Number 28 is Goliath at La Ronde in Canada. Number 27, Intimidator from Carowinds. Number 26, Apollo's Chariot. Number 25 was Liseberg Bonnen. That's where Liseberg Bonnen came into this whole thing. Number 25. Very interesting to see it beat out some of those other coasters that are below it, for sure. And then some coasters that didn't even make it, like Magnum XL 200, I know was number 33 in the steel this year. So very interesting to see Liseberg Bonnen kind of work itself into the mix. Number 24, we do see Manta at SeaWorld Orlando come up here. Number 23, we see Lightning Run at Kentucky Kingdom. Number 22 is Banshee at Kings Island, dropping from number 7 all the way down to number 22 this year. That is an interesting statistic there to see it drop 15 places. No wonder that Maverick beat it out this year, which, as you can see here, we don't see Maverick on the bottom half of the Thrilling 32. So Maverick did certainly go up this year. Montu, number 21 from Busch Gardens, Tampa. Number 20 is Behemoth from Canada's Wonderland. Number 19, we see Goliath from Six Flags Over Georgia. Number 18 is Diamondback from Kings Island. And number 17 is where we see Millennium Force, Cedar Point, come into the mix here. Millennium Force dropping down to 17 this year. That is astonishing to me.
Yeah, it's, but as we said, there's a lot of people out there that don't like Millennium Force, and man, if it's not apparent here, I don't know what will be more apparent to you, but it's not up there for sure. And if you disagree, have your friends vote next year. That's how you affect the rankings, is by you voting.
Yeah. Yeah. And as you can see here, Phantom's Revenge coming in at number 16. So we did see 16 versus 17. And for a while, Millennium Force was number 16 and was going to win that matchup. But Phantom's Revenge, again, in the end,
Almost
taking it by a couple of
0.3%
points.
there. 0.3% is what separated those two rides.
Yeah, definitely. X2 cracks the top 15 here at Six Flags Magic Mountain. Coming in at number 15, Wicked Cyclone in its very first year, debuts at number 14 overall on the steel list here. So again, very highly ranked, but had to go up against Skyrush in the first round, which, again, Skyrush, as you'll see in a minute here, another coaster that made a big jump up this year, kind of like the reverse Banshee effect. Maverick, again, jumping up as well. Those are things, obviously, an effect that seems going up all the way to number 13 this season. The Black Mamba from Phantasialand in Germany, debuting at number 12 in its first year in the bracket. So that is interesting as well. Iron Rattler coming in at number 11, and I think much to your dismay, the new Texas Giant is cracking the top 10 here at number 10, beats out Iron Rattler, its in-state rival, by a few percentage points.
Wow.
Here. At number 9, we have Blue Fire Mega Coaster from the Europa Park in Germany. Leviathan, our first Final Four coaster that we see, came in at number 8. Skyrush at number 7. And look at this, Twisted Colossus, number 6 on the list this year. How about that?
That's impressive. It's an impressive debut from that coaster.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree wholeheartedly. And number 6, and Twisted Colossus debuting ahead of Wicked Cyclone, if you're going to compare the two RMCs that opened up this past year.
Yeah.
In our top 5, we see Expedition G-Force coming in at number 5 overall, jumping up from number 11. So that is, definitely a very formidable showing for Expedition G-Force. Not the highest international coaster, though. We see Nemesis coming in at number 4, but again, having a very tough matchup. And Nemesis did not make the Final Four this year due to going up against, I believe it was Intimidator 305. Was it Intimidator? I don't even know now. I keep forgetting what the bracket actually looked like here, but now I have to go look at it. So Nemesis, again, showing that it's a top 4 coaster in this poll, but didn't make it to the Final Four this year due to going up against, yes, it was Intimidator 305. Just went back and looked. Again, just a result of the matchups that we saw. Our top 3, we do see Bizarro, the defending champion, coming at number 3, and again, losing to Fury 325 in that Elite 8 round. Intimidator 305, number 2, and look at this, more than a full percentage point.
Yeah.
Fury 325, the champion, 98.84%. That is quite a number, I will say that, by a full percentage point. So Fury did not take this by a small margin, relatively speaking. I mean, that's one of the wider margins on this list, for sure.
Yeah, that is quite the victory, too. Like, we were wondering how it would place, and man, that is quite the victory. It was, that's almost a cakewalk. In my book, by winning by that type of margin. You look all across where things rank right next to each other, and you don't see a lot of 1 full percentage point differences between a coaster and the one below it. But here you see that clearly, well above a 1 point, almost a 1.4, or, 1 point, I can't do math today, so sorry.
But I mean, your point is well made. It's just, it's incredible. It really is incredible how much Fury 325 got just some overwhelming support this year. It's really incredible to see it come out on top. And again, like I said, I think that bodes very well for the future of Fury possibly staying on top for a while. So,
Danny, I'm looking up and down this list, and I don't see another full point differential between two coasters right next to each other. I went through the bottom. I'm looking through.
Not on the Certainly not on the steel list, anyways.
No, nowhere.
It's hard to find. You'd have to go down pretty far to find it.
That's impressive.
So that tells you right there.
An impressive victory.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely. Well, as always, again, Andy, you and I always say that this is our favorite time of year when we go through these shows. It is absolutely a ton of fun doing the selection show, doing these reveal shows, having fun with the brackets, having fun with people who do well, having even more fun with people who don't do well, and, knowing how this is all going to pan out, and then seeing people watch the videos and comment and get frustrated. It's really a lot of fun for us, and we hope that it's a lot of fun for you folks as well. This is probably my favorite part of doing this whole show, is doing this contest this time of year. It's a shame we can only do it once a year, but that's why we like to drag it out and make it span quite a few episodes, because we know it's also a favorite of our viewers. So that will just about wrap it up for the 2016 Thrilling 32 Bracket Challenge. Again, we want to congratulate our winners: Outlaw Run from Silver Dollar City, Fury 325 from Carowinds, and our friend Eli, who is our contest champion. Once again, Eli, we will be in contact with you once the show goes live. We will discuss your winnings and having you on the show and whatnot. And again, we wanted to thank everyone for their participation and their support. The show has grown since it started about a year and a half ago, and certainly bigger, better, and brighter things are on the horizon. So with that, do you have any final thoughts, Andy?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us here, as always. It's been a blast. Great winners, great contests, great submissions, great participation overall. I don't think I could have asked for a better Thrilling 32. It lived up to all the hype, Danny. It truly did.
It really, really did. So with that, we will bid you good night. I am Danny Miller from Binghamton, New York.
And Andy Rybarczyk from Chicago, Illinois. And as always, right on, Ride Warriors.
See you next time, folks. Thanks.